Hello, today I'm going to show you how to stabilize fabric so it can be written on easily, such as for signature quilts or quilt labels, or anything that you need to write on fabric for. So first, we need several pieces of equipment. You'll need some freezer paper. I got this at my grocery store. You can find it at Target or Walmart or wherever you shop. It has a paper side and a plastic side, and that's the important key thing we need here. So you will need to prepare your fabric. I have a 5.5-inch square cut here. Usually for signature blocks, you'll use a light colored fabric, white, cream, yellow, whatever. I'm using a darker one so it'll show up on camera. And then you'll need a piece of freezer paper that's cut 1 inch larger than your fabric. It doesn't have to be exact. You can use scissors, you can use your rotary cutting tools, just whatever you can do to get your piece of freezer paper ready. You'll notice there's the shiny side that has the plastic on it. Then there's the paper side. This is the side you want to iron on. If you iron on the plastic coated side, you're going to get your iron nice and messy, and we don't want that. So here, let me get my iron plugged in. I've got it set to my cotton setting, so that will be ready in just a moment. To get ready, you'll take your fabric and you'll place it right side down on your ironing board. If you're using a solid fabric, a white, a cream, whatever, that doesn't really matter. But if you're using a print, make sure it's face down, right side down. Take your freezer paper and place it shiny side down over your fabric. This way you can iron on it without getting your iron all goopy with plastic. Now that my iron is ready, I'll hold the freezer paper in place because it likes to curl up. And I'll take my iron and I will just glide it over the freezer paper. And now, let's see, it kind of sticks a little bit, but when I pull it up, my fabric is now stuck to the freezer paper. It's only temporary, but it will stabilize it enough that the fabric can be written on more easily without it stretching or deforming. Now, especially important if you're using a white fabric, your guests might not notice which side is which with the fabric and whatnot. So on the back side, use a pencil and write something. You could put big X through it. You could say other side. Something to let your guests know the other side is the one they should be writing on. I had a project I worked on and half my squares came back with the paper side signed and not the fabric side. So it's ready now. Some markers that you could use. Don't use Sharpies. Sharpies are not very good for doing this. It can bleed out among the weave of the fabric and it doesn't last as long through the wash. I found that various different kinds of fabric markers work well. Tulip fabric markers I've used. Micron Pigma pens, they come in various different widths. They work really well. These are both markers that I got out of the scrapbooking section at my craft store, but critically they say archival quality ink. That's important. That will help you know that your markers are going to be permanent. So now that your fabric is stabilized, you can write on it, you can draw on it. It'll be easy to do. The fabric will stay in place. Another tip for your guests, to help your guests out, is you can, using a washable fabric marker, you can draw in a 1/4 inch lines a 1/4 inch from the edge of the fabric to indicate where the seam lines will be. That will help your guests to know to stay inside those lines, and so nothing will get cut off when you sew your squares into a quilt. And then when you are done and your blocks are signed, you can very carefully peel this off, and then you have your fabric square ready to be used in your quilt. You can always go back and use your iron to heat set that ink just to make sure it stays more permanent. But there you are, you're done and you're ready to go. I hope you found this tutorial useful and helpful. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Thank you.